Welcome to iHeartGeek.
And welcome to iHeartGeek. Yeah, we have like 1 million episodes or something. I don't know about y'all, but I'm so excited for Injustice 2.
I'm excited.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. They've been releasing new stuff, and I'm like, oh.
So many characters, so little time.
And I got to be honest, I am buying the deluxe version. I swore I was never going to do it, but
Here.
yes,
And I will be
cannot wait.
coming over to your house quite a lot.
So I guess we're going to have a show on that one after we play it for a couple hours.
Why not?
Okay.
I'll have to come watch because I don't.
We can do a live feed.
Oh.
Boom.
Somebody drop the mic. Now, before I give the introductions to all the people that are just trying to drop the mic right now, we have yet another sponsor.
Another sponsor.
It is amazing we had a sponsor every week.
We need some money.
You know you just seem so upset that we have another sponsor.
No, I'm never upset. I think it's fantastic because, I mean, I'm thinking of the mansion on the hill. That
I think
I'm
he's more
buy.
shocked than
Well,
anything else.
for the low rate of $150,000 per sponsor, we'll hook you up.
We'll hook you right up.
You know, we might even charge less if, you're a friend of the show.
With all this money coming in, I can actually get a supersize over at Chick-fil-A now.
Look out now.
Mac Daddy.
Okay, so we are brought to you today by Zero Copy Machines.
Whoa.
Zero will change your creation just enough to make it legal. You'll get the joke later, guys. We're actually discussing copycats today. Copycats are a thing in the comic and movie industry and music and everything.
Poster and everything.
Yeah,
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
People.
It's going to happen. It's not going anywhere, and we're going to discuss some of the ins and outs of it. But before we get into all that, we're going to talk to our Geek Rockstar panelists here. First up, we
That would
have
be me.
PB&Jason.
What?
Yes.
Oh, hold on a second. It's like
Have the tides turned.
It's like the reverse flash all of a
Threw
sudden.
me off my game.
Hey, how are you? Thank you, Wendell.
I'm doing really well.
to see
Thank you
you.
for asking. I missed you. It's been like minutes since our last show.
It seems like longer, but yeah, it was a fun show, and this is going to be a fun show too.
Outstanding. Okay, Mr. Kaj, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people what is your favorite color of bunnies?
No pressure.
Hi. Favorite couple of bunnies.
So easy to throw him off.
Isn't it?
I'm gonna go with the white bunnies there, Dub.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Just trying to keep the trend going from before.
I think that Kaj is going to be correct today.
I'm gonna go with the fluffy bunnies there, Dubs.
Okay, I like it.
I was waiting for another wrong. I'm gonna go
No,
with
you're
the.
right. You're right with Fluffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Watership Down bunnies.
Ooh, that's a deep geek reference.
Yeah.
Which rest in peace. Yeah. Okay.
Is it my turn yet?
It's Kaj or it's Kaj? You're not Kaj.
I'm not Kaj, you silly
You're
goose.
Spike.
That's me.
You're Spike. And would you prefer Dynamite or Boom comic books?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Can you name a single?
Boom goes the dynamite.
And boom goes the Dynamite.
How's everybody doing? I'm Spike,
I'm doing
and
outstanding.
I'm still alive, even though
You
I don't
are.
sound it.
Yeah, he's like a Pearl Jam song.
Right.
He's still alive. Oh yeah, that's
I have a lot of
bad.
sympathy.
you just
I
aged
remember
yourself.
the voice thing.
Are you just rubbing it in my face that I can't hit those notes right now, and I can't
No, actually, now you probably could hit the notes since you
Well, I guess that.
you have an octave range of one
Yeah.
note. I think that you could probably hit everything Pearl Jam ever did.
Shots fired.
Pearl Jam fans, we are sorry for that remark from Dub.
Pearl Jam fans, I'm sorry you're still a Pearl Jam fan. Okay, so yeah, we got lots of cool stuff to do today. We have a list to do today. I know no one would have thought of that.
No.
We have a Who Beats Who today.
Oh,
we
that's
have a 3366 today.
What?
We have a book report today.
Dude, this is jam packed.
I'm totally serious.
This is like a This is like a Pearl Jam packed.
Oh.
I had
Okay, no more Pearl
throwback.
Jam jokes.
This is gonna be the best episode ever.
Every episode is the best episode ever when you're Geek Stars.
For reals.
Oh, that's
Welcome
bad.
to iHeartGeek, everybody. Oh my god!
Okay, I'm not joining in on this.
This
whole
is-
thing.
Thank you, Jason, for once you're right.
This is how I'm talking for the rest of the show.
Let's not or you're fired. Okay, so with Spike threatened to be fired, let's do our first segment of the day, we have the 6633.
66% truth, 33% lies. Can you tell the difference?
Okay, since this is the second time we've done the 6633, which, by the way, this is Spike's segment, not mine, but I'm going to do a real quick explanation on what it is. Spike is going to tell us 3 different things. 2 of those things are going to be the truth, and one of them will be a lie.
Indeed, sir.
So we're going to decide.
So let's watch him closely. Watch for tells, twitches.
So with that, and the winner, of course, gets to say the line at the end. Ooh.
The coveted position.
That is quite a prize.
This stinks though, because I don't get that means I'll never get sick.
No, actually, it does. If nobody gets it right, you get it.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Now I got to up my game. I got to make these facts a lot more difficult.
You're not making them hard as it is?
Well, I mean, I thought last week was pretty easy. I was kind of blown away that none of you guys actually got it.
Hello.
Props to Dub. He actually got it.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Good
all right.
job, Dub.
So let's dive right into this. 3 comic book facts. All right. Number 1, Deadpool has regenerated from a pile of ash. Having been reduced to a pile of ash, he has regenerated from that.
Okay.
Random fact number 2. According to the Nova Corps, Star-Lord has accumulated over 350,000 murders.
Interesting.
Number 3. Thanos, in a crossover edition comic book, once crossed universes to meet Darkseid, but they were both too impressed with each other to battle.
That should have been the romance angle right there.
Make your choice now.
Oh, this is a tough one indeed.
All right, we have our submissions, and I have good news for you guys. We actually have a winner.
Whoa!
Yeah, we have a winner. All right, drum roll, please. Today, the winner is... You guys are not going to believe this. PB&Jason.
What is the right answer?
That Thanos and Darkseid, he crossed universes, and they were too impressed with each other to fight. See, you got in with the crossover king here, dude.
Yeah.
And I know that they did cross over in Marvel versus DC, and they beat the crap out of each other.
I knew they met, and that's why.
So it was semi a fib.
I actually looked. I couldn't find anything online about any kind of crossover with Thanos and Darkseid because I
knew that they'd met.
Fact.
Yeah, they did
I did
meet.
not know that they met. To best of my knowledge, they had never met. They had never. Whatever.
See, because of that last bit, the bit about how they were too impressed with each other.
That's it. That threw it off.
The Deadpool one, I knew.
I knew the Deadpool.
The second one, I was thinking
it was
iffy.
more. It was more murders.
I thought it was less because he was. Well, originally he was more of a nuisance than anything.
Right. But hasn't he destroyed universes? That's why the number is so high.
Star-Lord?
Maybe,
yeah.
No. Well, maybe
he was
unintentionally.
It was like his,
destruction.
but still in the Nova Corps, they still registered him.
Yeah, I know he's destroyed planets.
Yeah, that he was the cause of it, so that's why they
blame him kind of. But anyway, congratulations to PB&Jason.
Awesome, thank you.
Good job, buddy. Yeah.
He's been going on a right streak for
I know.
a while.
I don't even.
Don't get used to it, guys.
But I still want the older voice that you had a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. You missed that, the Batman.
Yeah, I do.
Who was it that did that impression of him? That was so fantastic.
It was Kaj.
That was so good.
Kaj did it.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. Keep on geeking on.
All right.
And, well, Jason, since you won this, I guess I'll let you do your segment next.
We
have a fun little thing that we've never done before.
Never done this one.
It's not only are we doing Hoobie 2, we're doing stuff with the Watchmen.
Completely new.
Whoa.
Watchmen, that's right.
And now it's time for a showdown.
Okay, Jason, what do you have for us since dealing with the Watchmen and Copycats?
All right. Dr. John Osterman. You guys know who that is?
I am aware.
I've heard the name.
Yeah.
Dr.
Dr. Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan is walking a timeline that he has now walked several times. And the problem that he's having is that he's familiar with everything that's been going on, but the very last moments of this timeline elude him. And he's struggling with that because he knows he's walked this several times, and he's watching something incredible. He's watching his team that he knows very well battling what looks to be copycats, almost identical, some not so identical, but some very close identical. And this concerns him. He's trying to figure out, what is that last part? So he moves up to Lori, the second Silk Spectre, and he sees her fighting this black canary. He knows her name's Diana, and unfortunately she's just outmatched. She's not even in the same fighting class and is suffering at the hands of the black canary. And he feels sad because there is that connection that they have, but he can't interfere at the moment because he's got to get to the conclusion. So he moves on to the Night Owl, to Dan Drieberg, the Night Owl, who's fighting this blue beetle, this Ted Cord, who again outmatches the Night Owl. As good as he knows Dan is with gadgets.
Can I ask one question on Cord? Did he actually have the scarab and then he got it to work? Because I know there was 3 beetles. One of them had the scarab, one of them didn't. Which one is Ted Cord?
I don't know. He's the second beetle. I know that.
Cord did not have the scarab.
Okay, thank you.
Just like Night Owl, Dan is the second Night Owl. Cord is the second blue beetle.
Thank you.
All right. So watching this, and he's watching Night Owl basically being outclassed in gadgetry. Moving on to someone who knows very well, Edward Blake, the comedian, taking on
human being juice.
Yeah, taking on in a bloody fist-on-fist battle with the Peacemaker.
Okay.
Okay.
Peacemaker it's a mystery. He doesn't know his name, but it's funny to him, not funny to him. It's ironic to him because where the comedian, he acts like everything's a joke when really he thinks everything is horrible. The Peacemaker values peace so much that he would kill for it. So they're just pounding each other, and he can almost see enjoyment in their eyes. They are not stopping anytime soon. So then he comes to he wipes his nose a little bit at the smell as he comes across Rorschach.
Yes.
And someone who looks a lot like him, with a mask with a strange symbol on it, a question mark, the question. And they're both skilled, and what interests Dr. Manhattan in this moment is that Rorschach used to be very much a more optimistic, but there's a savagery now in Rorschach, a dark savagery from
some bad things.
From the bad things that he's seen, exactly. And his savagery is giving him advantage. And lastly, he comes, almost shakes his head at Adrian Veidt, Ozymandias, and how he's fighting a man called Thunderbolt, a man named Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt. And Dr. Manhattan has to step back and admire for a moment how these two individuals can use most of their brain. They're the closest thing to superhuman that he's aware of from his universe. And he knows that the time is approaching, that fuzzy part is coming. And as the air begins to shimmer, as certain people fall into fights, they all freeze. The air shimmers, and a man steps out of the shimmer. He looks like he's encased in metal. And he sees him, and memory starts to come back from Dr. Manhattan. He looks at me and says, "I know you. You're Captain Atom." Captain Atom says, "That's right. And if you think really hard, I bet you know why I'm here." And Dr. Manhattan says, "I know why you're here. You're here to destroy me, or at least to try." And Captain Atom is not really so much of a man of words. He's got that military background.
Mm-hmm.
But they both pause and hesitate because Dr. Manhattan says, if you unleash your full potential and I unleash my full potential, we destroy everything. Is that really what you want? And Captain Atom says, of course not. Of course that's not what I want. But your defeat is necessary. And so, reaching into his bag of tricks, we know Captain Atom can do all kinds of things. But the one thing that he chooses to do, and Dr. Manhattan tries to do it as well, is they try to absorb each other. So that's the tack that they take. They try to absorb each other. And at this point, I turn it over to the panel. Who wins in an ultimate showdown of energy between Dr. Manhattan and Captain Atom?
Are we? This
That's
is tough.
tough. Yeah.
Are any of the other people still in play? Are they going to help or not?
No,
help?
they froze. As soon as Captain Atom appeared, they froze in time. Possibly by Captain Atom's doing.
Man, that is.
Is it?
PB, you have stumped us. This is.
I mean, I'll give my guess, but it could go either way. I mean, I would rather see Captain Atom win, just because he is got more of a humanity to him. But at the same time, I think Manhattan wins because he doesn't have the humanity and he doesn't mind destroying everything.
I agree with you on that. Here, go for it.
Oh, well, I was just going to, honestly, I think my first instinct is just to I would give it to Dr. Manhattan because he doesn't have. Well, yeah, minus the humanity. Mm-hmm. I don't think that there's going to be any hesitation on Dr. Manhattan's part at all. Whereas the little bit of humanity that Captain Atom has left in him, he whatever it might be. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I might hurt these people. Oh, did I leave the stove on? Doesn't matter. Something. He has the potential to have a slight hesitation, and that would cost everything.
I would even bring it to the point of, I still say Dr. Manhattan wins, and this is the reason why, that Captain Atom, as you said, is a military person. He was, are you going with the version that he was injected with the, almost like a super serum, like a solar flare, cosmic energy?
He's the nuclear guy, covered in metal
stuff.
If you breach it, that whole thing.
If you breach it, everybody dies. Yeah.
That Captain Atom is more of a he's more human, but he's more militaristic. He was born from the military.
And that's why I think he wins.
To where Osterman was a man of science even before he went into the atom chamber and got separated. He was a man of science, and I feel his powers, he has pushed his capability far more than what Captain Atom has ever done. That, Captain Atom is more of a weapon, where Dr. Osterman or Doc Manhattan is almost God, is basically an entity, a god of entity of God, basically.
And he's more calculating.
Yeah.
Really. Because he doesn't think the way a human would think. The way any of us think.
Well, it's the humanity versus existentialism. That's really the philosophical question we're asking here.
Right. Yeah, this is getting deep.
Is the military, man trained to kill, going to take out the Mr. Existential who, no matter what happens, hey, it happens. I know what's going to happen, and it's going to go through.
Right.
So does existentialism win, or does the military might win? And I can't. This is the first time I'm saying I don't have an answer.
That'd be tough.
All right, so you all three touched on something true, which was Dr. Manhattan's grasp on humanity is not as strong as Captain Atom's. However, Dr. Manhattan understands that if he breaches that suit, if he hits him hard enough to breach that suit, he could destroy everything. He might destroy himself too, and that's what he's not sure of. So in that regard, he does not take that tack. He instead is going to absorb the energy, and he's going to try. And so, in this case, is Captain Atom. So that is how they attack each other full on. Their energy is leaking from each other, escaping into each other. But then Captain Atom basically pulls his trump card, which is the quantum field.
Okay.
And with the power of the quantum field, Dr. Manhattan finds himself facing something that he's overwhelmed with, and Dr. Manhattan is absorbed. It's not over yet, though. Captain Atom gathers up those that he knows that have fallen, and those that are still up, still in their frozen state, and disappears with them. Not much longer after that, there's a shimmer in the air and a glow of blue, and Dr. Manhattan reappears. Confused by this timeline that he's now walked several times, he looks and he notices his fallen comrades from the Watchmen starting to get up. Mm-hmm. He doesn't exactly know why he's here, but all of a sudden there's a shimmer, and these individuals that look just like them start to come through. Stalemate.
Time paradox.
Wow.
Because it's going to keep going and going and going.
And then the Flash shows up.
No, that was no winner. I like that. That was a deeper one than we usually do. I like that.
Yeah.
That
We talked about existentialism. I mean,
man.
hey, how's that for philosophy?
Actually, you know what?
Talk
Hey,
about thought-provoking.
let's throw this out to the Facebook page as well. Like, what are your views on this as well?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, give us your answers on how this was it a stalemate or was there a clear winner?
Yeah, who would win and why?
Even though there were some individuals, like there were individuals that did win their individual battles.
But it didn't matter.
The
Right.
overall conclusion is a tie.
I would even say, would you?
Time loop.
I mean, just not to, if you haven't read the book, spoilers, but would either one of them get their Ozymandias or their Thunderbolt? Would they have them kind of involve themselves into a, just kind of to work everything out?
Yeah,
Maybe
the
to get
one
them
thing
blindsided.
that I forgot to mention in this fight is when Dr. Manhattan was walking by those two, it seemed to be that their fighting was starting to diminish and they were actually starting to talk, like plan. But it never quite got to fruition because Adam
It's never
showed
going
up.
to because it starts over again.
Right, because Adam showed up.
Outstanding. Wow.
All right. So now for the next segment here, I want to ask, since we're doing the theme show is Copycats this episode, I want to ask the panel up here, how do you feel about the whole Copycats, like one comic industry or one industry like copying something from another industry and just like blatant, just almost to a T, but then they'll use it for their own gain or for their own universe
Under like the parody clause or something like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, youth first, little man. You go first.
Oh, how kind. How kind of
Daddy.
you, sir. No, to be honest, I think, and again, I am a noob to the comic book world, but that was one of the first things that I learned about it was that it's littered with copycats and ripoffs and stuff like that. But I really think it's a beautiful thing because, like, well, my all-time favorite comedy or comic character is a parody of Deathstroke. I loved Deadpool is my number one all-time favorite pick. And but I wouldn't even call it ripping off. The copycat thing is, I look at it like you're taking a character that you love and then you're giving your own take on it and it grows and evolves into something that's completely different than what it started out copying.
Right, I would agree with you. I think
to
that,
a point, yeah.
I think that I'm going to jump in here. I think that the whole flattery or mimicry is the best form of flattery. Is that the right way to put it?
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. When you think about like how many things, superheroes or characters have been created and created and created over time, how can you not get into some homages and copycats?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Totally.
I mean, there's nothing new under the sun.
It's almost impossible.
You're going to redo the same story.
I mean, okay. There's a difference between copycats and evolution of a character. Now, you take Superman today, there's nothing even remotely similar to original Superman. Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the
Now,
evolution.
with that evolution, he's not the same character anymore. So basically, the new Superman is nothing but a bizarre copy of the original.
Right.
Because there's nothing that fits. Now, as a purely artist, as an artist, I'd like to say that no, they shouldn't be copying anything because make your own work. Because that's my thoughts on things. Make your own work, do your own thing with it. Awesome, but that's not how this medium works.
Right.
And the day that they started, the second artist took over for Schuster and Schuster and
Spiegel and Schuster?
yeah, Spiegel and Schuster. The next people that took over and changed them a little bit, that's when all that went out the window. And therefore, you know what? If you want to make a Shazam, make a Shazam. It's not. I'm okay with it because it's no different from taking the original and changing it to let's kind of have this kind of something similar and we can do our own thing with it.
You could say the same exact thing about Batman. The same exact evolution from the original crime fighter who shot people with guns, had no qualms about killing in the Golden Age, to the Silver Age, happy, optimistic, campy, to the Neil Adams. Dark
and they're
change
different characters
to everything else. Exactly.
So
but it's all still Batman. Now, if Marvel were to come in and do a similar thing with
Which they
that,
do.
then that's copycat. I mean, from how it sounds like, from what you're saying, is that that's evolution. That's just the evolution of the character, right?
No, I'm saying that there's two different things. There's the evolution of the character, but because the evolution of the character says it's all right, that we can copy it to have similar characteristics and do our own thing with it, and it's going to evolve in its own way.
I think that there's been good and bad copycats.
Oh, absolutely.
We're
going to get into that later.
I'll tell you though, the reason that my favorite superhero, one of the reasons that Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, is there's never been a copy.
Spider-Verse?
Spider-Verse.
No, I'm not talking about in Marvel. Okay, in Marvel with new Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. Okay, I'm talking about across companies. There has never
DC's
been
never
Black
taken
Spider.
a take.
Black Spider wasn't bit by a radioactive spider, though, right? Like, there's never been like a blatant copy.
There's never
of
been
Spider-Man.
anything that could be a copy.
It's Captain Marvel didn't come from Krypton, and he has no issue with Kryptonite. Basically, the same character.
Just magic.
Magic.
Well, and
I mean, the origin story is going to change.
Well, there was also Captain Marvel, Shazam, and Captain Marvel, the Kree. That whole big litigation.
Well, I'll even throw this out there. Is there even really a bias, or is there even a really base for copycats? Because both of the industries have agreed that there's multiverses. There's so many other different variations.
Well, Wendell thinks there's multiverses.
There is a multiverse.
I
believe that there's a multiverse.
Right? So really, there's no really copycatting whatsoever. Like, you just say, oh, well, if this one looks identical to this one, then it's Earth 325 instead of 626.
Yeah, so instead of evolution, it's the multiverse.
Right.
Again, lazy writing.
Right.
But, ask me this 100 years ago, and I have a completely different answer because it's a different market, it's a different way of storytelling. But now you can't do it with they didn't have the copycats.
Right. And it's harder and harder.
And they make better characters with these copycats a lot of times.
Right.
So we'll discuss that with our list.
And it's harder and harder to create original characters. I mean, certainly is.
There's only so many things you can do.
Right.
Well, how many years do they have to do? Okay, well, you know what? Everybody's just a mutant. It's a mutated gene. That's how you got your powers. Because there's only so many stories to go around.
And the funny thing, I may have mentioned this before, what I never understood about the X-Men and all of the bigotry and hate that they were shown for being mutants, why that same hate was not translated over to the Fantastic Four, to the Avengers, to, those that were basically mutants also.
Because it was their story.
Right. But I'm saying in the same universe, that never made any sense to me.
Yeah.
I said, why aren't they treated with the same hatred that every other mutant has been treated?
The thing is a mutant. Spider-Man is a mutant.
Yeah.
They're mutants.
Yeah, well, because, you look at all their offspring, like the Fantastic Four's offspring, they also have genetic mutations, even though they weren't born with that mutation.
Right.
Because they got it in space from gamma rays. I think it's gamma rays.
But those rays mutated them, the cosmic rays.
Yeah, but that shouldn't pass on. So that's why that's why you're right. They should be as persecuted because they're passing on that gene to the next generation, which is why the X-Men. That's why people hated the X-Men, because they're passing it on and they're going to take over the human race. Kind of the same thing.
Right. That was why I always I like individual X-Men on certain teams, like on other teams, like when Beast and all of them been like Avengers and stuff. But I've never been a fan of the X-Men because I can never suspend my disbelief in that very notion.
But let's be honest, the X-Men are nothing but an analogy for either being black or being gay.
Or being a minority.
Well, yeah, that in general.
yeah.
But those were the two big ones that they always did the comparison to. And and so therefore, if you tell that story over all Marvel, it's like, okay, I got it. I get it. I'm being preached at now. I'm done.
Right.
That's why did the X-Men kind of die out of an overexposure? Getting that pushed in your face all the time. I'm like, okay, they have other stories. They can go stop a bank robber now.
Right.
It became very preachy.
And crossing fingers, I think I posted this up on the page too, that I guess Marvel is going to stop being that whole, not PC, but like bringing up those kind of issues and going back to their roots of stopping a big villain.
Yeah, I think this will be a good show. Let's do that show next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a whole show on it.
An entire show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Well, no, actually, and then we'll have a 3366 too.
Why not?
I guess. Well, since I started it, let me close with this, and you guys can agree or disagree. I
disagree.
Wow. Dang.
I will never say that again in the history of this podcast.
I bet she says it next week.
So
that was beautiful. Well, he said he'd never say it again in the history of this podcast. He said nothing about the future.
Ooh. He ran into Dr. Manhattan.
Time loop.
I believe like the copycat thing that's just out the window. It's probably just more of like intent, or if they just want to get butthurt and they want to try to sue to kind of so that they stop them or whatever, stop the other company from doing it. But it's neither here nor there. There's a multiverse, whatever. It's the writing. If the writing is good, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So I think that's only worked once, and that is with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I think that's the only time that the litigation on the copycat blah, blah, ever actually worked.
And then DC ended up taking him.
What about Deadpool and Deathstroke? Did they have their litigation about that too? Because they felt it was way too.
No, I mean I won't say for sure.
But from what I understand, no.
If there was, then nothing came of it.
Okay. Sweet.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, guys.
That was our pre-discussion for our main event. So here we go with our main event.
Now it's time for the main event.
Was that Night at the Roxbury's you just did?
So was. Okay, so we have our top 5 list. Actually, we have top 5 and a bottom 2 list. And we're going to start with our bottom 2.
The bottom of the barrel.
Okay, so what we want to discuss is 5 characters that are copycats that we love as much or more than the original. And then we're also going to discuss our bottom 2. Who do we hate? What characters do we absolutely
dislike,
despise?
Hate's a strong word.
Disagree.
No, I can say hate for mine.
Disagree with.
But yeah, and this can go all over the board. For instance, I have an entire publication that is a copy that's terrible. So this can go all over the board. It depends on what we like, but I don't think we're doing TV shows or anything. But
I don't know. Characters, yeah.
We'll see what we do. Okay, so we're going to start with our least favorite, and I'm going to start with a character called Priest. Then you saw that there was a movie out a couple years ago. It was a priest that fights vampires. It's basically a terrible, a not up to par knockoff of one of the greatest novels ever written, which was Preacher. Too big of shoes to fill.
So it was a vampire slaying priest.
Yes.
What in your opinion do you think made it Preacher like? As far as it goes, because I'm not familiar with Priest.
I don't feel like it was similar. I think they just used we can take a holy man and he's going to
fight evil.
He's going to fight evil.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
He's going to drink too much and all this other stuff. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. I get
so
you.
he felt Preacher-ish,
right.
But he definitely
an homage of sorts.
Yes,
a ripped off premise more so than a ripped off character.
And to me, it was. Preacher's one of those ones that it's really hard to mess with.
Yeah.
That and Sandman.
Agreed.
I mean, those are two things you really can't.
The little I've been exposed to.
As much as Dub and I fight, I know that's one thing we have in common is that Preacher is our favorite series.
Nice. My number, I don't really have any comic book characters that I've discovered that I hate
You'll get there.
I'm
No,
sure
you
will.
will.
I'm sure.
Hang
I
out with
will.
us for a while. You'll let the hate consume you.
Be drawn into the dark side.
There you go. Oh, that was good with the voice.
That was frightening.
So,
That was better than my Batman.
my number 2 is mostly out of ignorance, just because of non-exposure to him. Is Aquaman, who I learned was a copy of
Namor.
Namor, the
first
Submariner.
Submariner.
Yes.
And mostly all I've been exposed to are the cliche, like, oh, Aquaman, what kind of superhero is that? Like, so I kind of just threw him in there because I couldn't find anybody that I didn't like. So yeah, that's my number
I
2.
can tell you this with Aquaman. Before you completely judge him, check out what they're going to do with him on the new Justice League movie, because he looks incredible.
Okay.
Right.
And play with him on Injustice. Because
Okay.
he is the baddest character on that game.
Really?
I'll tell you something else too. Yeah, he's older, but I've never read a more, I don't know, two-dimensional character
Than Namor?
Than Namor the Submariner.
Never liked him. Well, I liked that he used to try to sleep with Sue Richards.
Well, when he
Yeah.
guested in Fantastic Four or guested in someone else's books,
Oh, he's always a
he's
dirtbag,
okay,
but yeah.
a little more interesting. But like on his own, the reason that he's never really had a real successful solo run is because he's a two-dimensional
He's not
turd.
interesting.
You know,
And he flies.
Yes, he has. He
does.
has
He
can actually fly.
little
wings on his
ankle
feet.
wings.
Yeah, he's never made any
So I'll
sense.
take Aquaman any day over Namor.
Exactly.
And also, you can check out.
So you're wrong.
There's an animated one. Was it Justice League Throne of Atlantis, which basically it just deals with Aquaman.
Yeah.
It's the origin.
that's a really
of that.
good one,
Yeah,
too.
it's a really
Okay.
good
We're
one
going to
too.
sit him down,
Yeah.
and we're going to inundate him with Aquaman videos, and then
Or
Spike will
just
change his
talk
mind.
to my wife, and then
Wrong,
if you
Spike,
and if you don't
wrong.
like Aquaman at the end of that, she'll slap you. So
Right.
Right.
Gosh, what about you?
I'm gonna go with a little bit more conventional, I guess you could say. Werewolves.
Okay.
Oh,
The
interesting.
different copies of werewolves that they have, the annotations of
Do
werewolves
you have
that
a
they've had over
good
the
version
years.
that they started with?
Like I
like the Howling?
even with like the
Lon
Masquerade, like White Wolf, like how the werewolves are bipedal, like they walk on 2 legs. It's like a human, but with wolf features. And then all of a sudden, like the new American Werewolf in Paris, and even with the underworld type
I enjoyed
movies.
those, to be honest.
Those
that
were
they,
really
that they
cool.
get they're almost dog-like. They're more wolf than they are a man or human, and it just really bugs me. Like I like my bipedal
Well,
werewolf.
I'll tell you what a really good take on it was. They weren't werewolves at all, but they were wolves. Was the movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right?
Oh, that was
yes.
good.
Yep.
That to me felt more like what a werewolf should be.
Right.
Because, I mean, the whole bipedal man beast, silly to me. But I thought the wolf, that was an interesting take on it. And this is coming from the guy that grew up watching The Howling.
Right, right.
Happy face stickers
Yeah.
following people around.
Right.
Oh, God, that was creepy. Yeah.
Werewolves, huh? Where did you get that idea, Kaj?
I don't know. from your polar bear.
Yeah.
Probably the bad beard you have. No,
That
I'm just kidding.
could be.
I'm just kidding.
He's been growling at me all night.
Yes, he has. Valentine's show's over.
Staying in the vein of genres, which is what my 2 actually are, I'm going to say vampires.
Okay.
Because
Fair enough.
you have obviously Nosferatu and Dracula kind of in the origin. You have the movie, cinematic, written literary history, continuing on to the evolution of basically the same thing, the bloodsucker.
Lost Boys.
Yeah. Now there's been moments where things have been a little more clever. I mean, I'll give Anne Rice some credit. She, with their interview with the vampire and the vampire Lestat and
Right.
those books, she kind of made the sexy vampire. Okay, the one that eventually made its way to the annoying Twilight type vampires.
Right.
Vampires do not sparkle.
Right.
Agreed.
But the whole fact that it's been so copied again and again and again.
Yeah.
Shows its enduring quality, but it annoys me because now it's Vampire Diaries and Twilight and silly stuff like that.
There have been definite hits and definite misses.
Yes.
But you know what? At any time, they're one movie away from it coming back to being cool again.
Yeah.
Lost Boys, that was cool.
Amazingly good movie, but it's the savagery of the vampire as well. Like even with Vampire Lestat and Anne Rice, like it was more. There was more of a romance element to it, but the vampires were still vicious. They were still savage.
That's the kind of vampires that I like.
Right.
The savage. Like, say what you want about the Blade trilogy. I loved those movies.
Right.
I found so much enjoyment because they brought vampires back to animalistic. They're very savage.
And now they go to high school.
Yeah,
Oh,
now
my Lord.
then they turn it into an Aaron Spelling episode.
Don't get me
and it's
wrong.
like, no.
I was in love. I loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. One of my all-time favorite shows.
But the vampires were cheeseballs,
right, they were.
especially in the beginning.
And so I mean, there have definitely been hits, and it's not like I hate every single vampire thing that's ever come out. It's just I think the genre has become utterly stale, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Not everybody has a second one, but I'll do mine. And that was Cracked, which came out of Mad Magazine. Mad Magazine was a stroke of genius. It's still a stroke of genius. It's had a few rough years, but it's still fantastic. Cracked has been a bad knockoff, and I hate it.
I remember as a kid, though, reading both.
And then they had cartoons and all that other stuff, too.
And as a kid, I definitely didn't see any difference, So I didn't know at the time that Cracked was second and Mad was first. But I do remember thinking, wow, these are a lot alike, So I see your point,
But no, the Mad to me was that was the first one I read, and I knew it was
Walter
the original.
E. Newman.
Exactly. It was hilarious, but Cracked, it kind of took the quality down. It was similar, but and then as the years went by, it took the quality of both magazines down because it took the genre down.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, my number one, the one that I actually don't like, is Mr. Fantastic, who is a copy of Elongated Man. Mm-hmm. And again, this is more so, I admit, out of ignorance, because the only Fantastic Four that I've ever been exposed to are the cinematic abominations
On a New York
that
subway.
have
Spike, you're wrong.
I may be. I'm not.
No, I'll tell you
contesting
what.
that.
The
I
Reed,
very
Richards,
well
Reed
may be.
Richards is, yes, he is a copy. I will agree.
A Stretch Metallo.
Right. Of
Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong.
Of Stretch Armstrong. Jeez. Oh,
It's true.
the memories. Right.
Cornstarch.
Oh, wow. So, and Plastic Man, who actually came before both of them.
The
Yeah.
70s swinger.
Elongated Man was first, and then Mr. Fantastic came in a year afterwards.
What about? But I'm saying Plastic Man. I think beat
Plastic
them both.
Man? Let me check that one out. But it's.
But the thing about Reed Richards is he is more than a stretchy guy. He's the smartest. Probably this could be debatable, but he's the smartest character in the Marvel universe.
Top 3.
In the top 3, sure. He's the husband, the leader of the team. The Fantastic,
dad.
the dad. The Fantastic Four as a comic. I mean, it's certainly been hit and miss, but overall, it's a great comic that just has never been given justice in cinema because for some reason they can't get them right, which I don't get.
Who is it, Sony or Fox? Who do we blame
I
for
think
it?
it's Sony.
Sony. Yes.
One of them.
Fox
Stupid.
has Spider-Man.
No, Sony has Spider-Man.
Oh, well, then maybe I have
It's
the
Fox.
other.
Yeah,
Then
Fox.
Fox has Fantastic Four.
And Sony got smart.
So you want your answer?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So Reed Richards was 1961. Elongated Man was 1960.
Okay.
Plastic Man, 1941.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I just won a spontaneous 3366.
I am
right?
Jeez
just on a streak
Louise.
of wrong right
This
now.
is like 4 episodes in a row where PB has been right.
Okay, now you're wrong. It's 2 episodes.
Close enough.
We're taking him down to the casino after this, and we're going to get some megabucks around here.
Nice.
I have to tell you guys, I actually almost hit that once. I got 2 eagles, eagle, and then some bar.
And then a cherry.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and
Gosh, what about you?
So this. Oh well, my number one was a Plastic Man, Elongated Man as well.
Okay.
I flat out,
For the
Mr.
same
Fantastic.
reasons, yeah.
Mr. Fantastic is the one and only, and heck with the others.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so again, in genre, my number one is zombies. So give credit where credit's due with, I mean, you can almost go back to Frankenstein in a lot of ways. That's the first, zombie. But in the George Romero era, the Night of the Living Dead, that's kind of where all of the zombies that we see today, began. And at the time, it was certainly original. I'll give credit where credit's due. The whole apocalypse thing, but for me, zombies is kind of personal because I don't find them scary. I find them to be very sad. They actually depress me because, here, my love, my best friend. Oh, you're bitten, you're dead. Oh, you're rising, and now you want to eat my brain. Oh, and now I have to kill you. It's just they're the most depressing of the whole classic monsters to me.
When he talks about this, I get this picture of young Jason sitting alone at lunchtime with his lunchbox all by himself. I want someone zombie to be my friend.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. See, college, that's how you do it. Oh, man. So, no, but they do. They bum me out. Because,
Yeah,
think
fair
about,
enough.
okay, so let's talk about, just for a second, The Walking Dead. Okay, probably the
hottest zombie thing.
The hottest
on TV.
zombie thing on the planet right
You
now.
tread lightly, sir.
No, I know you love it, and I think it's a well-written show, okay?
Yeah.
I have not seen all of it, but my wife watches it, and I've seen a lot of the episodes, and I think it's very well written. But the very first episode, he's got to blow away a little girl. Now, what about that is the fascination? I don't understand what it is about zombies that people love.
Oh, we're going to have to do a Walking Dead episode.
It's that separation. It's that I say that it says a lot about society, getting away from, what is real and what is not real.
But then there's all the fantasies like, oh, good zombie apocalypse, I'd be this guy over here, and
No,
the
you
zombie
wouldn't. You'd be
apocalypse
dead.
stores, and there's it's like I don't understand. I don't know. You're a big fan of Walking Dead, Spike, so maybe you could shed some light on this. What is it about zombies that people like?
For me, honestly, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I just enjoy being put in. I like when it's done well. You're put into a situation where it's not just an apocalyptic situation, but The Walking Dead does a very good job at portraying human emotion, or they started that, like you said, the little girl. You have to fight your protective instincts because anybody sees a little girl with a bunch of flesh-eating creatures running around, you're going to want your instinct. Anybody usually is going to want to protect her, but then you see half her face is ripped off and she wants to eat you.
Right.
You have to fight that emotional, I don't want to die. I have to, oh my gosh, if I don't kill this little girl who is not a little girl, I'm going to die. And when it's done well, it really gets deep into a study of human nature.
I don't know. I
almost.
guess some people like those heartstrings pulled like that. I myself don't.
And it's just intense.
Right.
And
right.
a lot of people like that emotional roller coaster.
And
I think a lot of it is just that fantasy because, the world's so out of control now. It's like, well, what if we could start over? It's not the most pleasant way of it happening, but maybe I'm that one that could go back and do the right thing and could start over again. It's just it's self-serving fantasy.
Yeah.
It really is.
And then they woke up and it was all a dream.
It was the ultimate.
They were in a coma.
Yeah.
There is
There is a
theories
theory.
that Rick is all in a coma.
God, shoot me now! just bludgeon me with one of these water bottles.
please.
What episode are we doing?
I don't know. We need to get back to this.
My thing, it's just a survival. It's like a survivalist thing, and with The Walking Dead, that they have definitely used it to that. It's almost a play on words. Like at the beginning, it was more of fighting to survive with zombies, but now in the later seasons, it's more of the zombies come out every so often, but they're just kind of like a factor. But you don't have to fear the zombies. You have to fear
Other people.
yeah.
the living,
Jesus
not just the dead.
So
not the dead.
so I took us on a tangent.
Yeah,
I guess I did.
Save for another episode.
Anyway.
Okay, so now we got to do our top 5 favorite copies.
Yay!
Now we all agreed. Well, most of us agreed because we're smart and we have an IQ of over 8 that Deadpool and Deathstroke are the number one
Obvious.
pick. It's the
Number one.
obvious number
Obvious
one
pick for number
pick.
one.
Now, there's one person that disagreed. Does anybody want to take a guess on who that might be?
Why y'all looking at me? No, they're not the number one. Okay, they're on my list, but they're not number one.
So the rest of us, people that are
We know the truth.
that know the truth, we're just calling that number one, and we're just kind of throwing that away. So we actually have 5 picks.
Honorably mentioned number one.
Whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my number 5, which was Fables, which was a copy of the Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Right.
Okay.
Honestly, that's in my top 3 list of greatest series of all time.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
I can't imagine that.
No. I'm gonna do it. And I love Fables also, but to me, taking the Grimm fairy tale characters and placing them in the modern world, and the whole stories that went on with that. To me, I don't know. It doesn't seem so much like a copy as much as I'm going to borrowing. You know what I'm saying?
Zenscope did it too before Fables,
Right. And there's a series called Castle Waiting that kind of did it too.
So no matter what, there's still a copy,
Right.
And so
Okay.
And I'd say that's probably the best copy you could possibly get out of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I do love
And all these other TV shows that are out, Grimm and Once Upon a Time,
Upon a
are
Time.
bad knockoffs of Fable. And they should have just done
now
Fable.
That I agree with. I agree with that more.
Yes. I do agree. All right, my number 5 is the Nova Corps, who's a copy of the Green Lantern Corps.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
I'll throw that as my number 5 as well, so we can tag team on
But
this
without
one.
rings.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like probably how Marvel saves face
Yeah.
because there isn't the rings.
And it's yellow and blue. I mean,
Which makes
green.
Ironies
Yeah.
to the 5th degree.
Yeah, I just found out about this as well. That I know the Nova Corps and I know the Green Lantern, but I never knew that they were copies of each other.
Well, hey, what planet is the Nova Corps on?
Xander.
Really? What planet is Green Lantern Corps on?
Noah.
Or Mogo?
Xander. Oh, you mean that? Well, they have planet.
Yeah.
They both have planet.
Yeah, planet
characters.
planet
Ego
character.
and Mogo. Yes.
Huh. So Marvel's a dirty, stinking. So which one is
What?
the correct one? Which one's the copy?
The copy is Nova Corps.
So I wouldn't say that they're. I wouldn't put the Nova Corps cool, but I would not put them in the same league as
no
Green
way.
Lantern Corps.
No,
So
yeah.
therefore, the original is still better than the
Right.
copy.
Well, there's 500 Nova Corps members and there's 3,600 Green Lanterns. So
Well, there's more now, but that's
Right.
not important. And now the Yellow Lanterns have joined the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna bore you.
But as is all copycats, the Nova Corps has kind of evolved into its own thing.
Which
like
is
you
better.
said, you had no idea that there was even a copy.
yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, if something's going to endure, it has to get away a little bit from its source.
yeah.
Absolutely. It'd be you.
So that's you. We both have the same 5.
Oh, okay. My number 5 is more of an homage than a copy, and that I'm going to use that word. I'm just going to burn that word into the
Homage.
ground on this podcast, just so you
Homage.
know. Homage, whatever.
Homage.
A copy of the Joker in Marvel being the Green Goblin. Now, it is definitely not an exact copy, but I definitely believe, and there's been some things I've read that Norman Osborn is definitely inspired by that
I think it's reaching, but okay.
clownishness of the Joker.
I can
I think
see
it's
that.
reaching, but I think it could definitely if the planets lined up, it can
Now,
match.
to be honest, you could argue and you could say the Joker is still the better and probably on a villain list.
Oh, absolutely.
The Joker would score higher,
Like,
but
way higher.
But I myself like the Green Goblin more.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
He was a good villain. He really was. He was a conniving villain. Anyway,
Okay, now here comes a villain that turned into a good guy, kind of. Solomon Grundy was the original,
Okay.
and the copy was the Incredible Hulk.
ooh,
Oh.
cool.
Yeah, Solomon Grundy did come first by I think 15 years.
Was he
Oh, wow.
was he radiation as well? And
No, he was deaf. He's basically a zombie.
Okay.
But he's superhuman strength, similar look, everything too. In fact, because the original Hulk was gray, by the way. just
right,
like Solomon
right,
Grundy.
that's true.
I want
Okay.
to throw in just a quick honorable mention that relates to what you just said, and that is Doomsday is a copy of the Hulk.
Really?
I think.
If
Physically,
yeah.
maybe, yeah.
I think that they're again not an exact copy.
Yeah.
but
But
I believe that he is inspired by.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he was definitely, well, he was created by, wasn't he military created as well?
He's a Kryptonian weapon,
Right.
right? A genetic weapon, right?
But he's Rage. He's basically Rage incarnate, right? No.
Well, my number 4 is Hawkeye, who is a copy of the Green Arrow.
Yes,
Okay.
he is.
Yes, he is.
No doubt about it.
Very, very fun. And I just like bow and arrows. I think that they're the coolest weapons. Whenever I'm playing like D&D and stuff like that, I love those.
Which character do you like more?
That's tough. I kind of like the Green Arrow a little bit more, just because I like that Batman-esque,
Right.
billionaire who actually knows how to, kick some butt and then goes out and does something
Right.
about it.
Right.
I like that. So I'm a little bit more drawn to the Green Arrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
But not taking anything away from Hawkeye. I love
Oh, no.
Hawkeye.
Right.
That dude is actually, and this was one of the random facts that I actually decided not to use. Hawkeye has actually when he was out of weapons, he picked up a stick, ripped off one of his fingernails, and
Actually, I knew
attached
that
it.
one.
And
Oh, really?
And used that as a makeshift arrow to kill people with.
Yeah. A lot of people also don't know he's very good with a sword too, because he was trained by the swordsman.
I can see that. Okay.
Nice.
Kosh?
Anyway,
All right. My number 4 is Black Cat and Catwoman.
Woo!
Yeah, outstanding.
Don't chicka bone chicka
Both are thieves.
Speaking of
both are
last show.
yeah, both are kind of like the romantic interests of said main hero in their storylines.
Yeah.
And
Which do you like better?
which
do you like?
do I like better? I gotta say Catwoman.
Because
I gotta get- I like
appearance-wise
Selena.
or character-wise? There's a difference on that.
Yeah.
You know it is.
Oh man,
I gotta
yeah,
go with
okay.
Cat's definitely hotter.
The,
but-
that
the
platinum
guy
hair.
chromosome just kicked in. Yeah. Black Cat for appearance and Catwoman for
Catwoman all the way.
I agree with Kosh on that one.
Yeah.
So in other words, that makes Jason wrong.
Well, no.
I'm just
You
kidding.
think it's what it is, but no, the white hair is sexy. That's all I'm saying.
It's the outfit. Let's be honest.
I want you all to listen very closely to me right now.
Oh, here we
Number
go.
4 is
Wrong.
Deadpool
Wrong.
and Deathstroke.
Wrong.
Deadpool and Deathstroke.
Wrong.
And I actually I'm a little bit more of a fan of Deathstroke.
Wrong
Okay.
again.
You wanna-
I think
All right,
that,
this
I think
is
that
a-
Deathstroke has more layers.
This is an iHeartGeek announcement. We are currently holding auditions
For the PB&Jason spot. No.
for a random vacancy on the show.
No, I love him being wrong.
No,
because
it's
then it
fun-
makes me
'cause
right.
It makes me right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I guess that's true. All right, cancel that.
You know,
We need somebody to be wrong.
Kosh had his time in the barrel last episode of being wrong.
God, man, it is. Yeah, I can't. No,
So,
you
there's
warmed
not-
it up for me, so I got to give it back to you.
Okay, my number. What are we on? 4.
No, we're on 3 now.
I was
We're
just
on
kidding.
3.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to do something you mentioned earlier, which was Aquaman Namor. Again, I hate Namor. Terrible original. Aquaman was pretty ingenious, honestly.
Okay.
I think he's been a great character
Better
for the
character.
last
Yeah.
what
10,000 years.
100 years or whatever it is.
Right.
I'm gonna have to read
How many
some
times?
Aquaman.
How many times he lost his hand?
I only know
You know,
one, but-
I never really liked it when he replaced his hand with a harpoon.
Oh, that's
What?
like that was his rebirth.
I
in
love
but
it.
he was- I don't know,
every
it's
time
really
they
weird.
every time they revamp Aquaman, he always loses his hand.
Right.
At the beginning, he has it, and then he always picks it.
But I still love that. He was picked on for many years.
Yeah,
for
he
being,
tossed
you
a
touched the
fish.
fish, and they would joke about him like all the time.
But he's
And
like
now
Superman
recently-
strong.
Now recently, he is the king of Atlantis.
We,
and
we call this the Jeff Johns treatment.
yeah, and
he did that to Green Lantern, too.
He has totally revamped him, and he's awesome. Like I really enjoy him.
All right. Well, my number 3 is Ant-Man, who's a copy of Adam.
right?
I like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
That like
Good call.
Until I saw the preview for Ant-Man, which I at first thought was a joke. I'd never even heard of either of these, and they're both. I don't know who I like better. They're both really cool characters.
Right.
So I mean, it's such an original concept.
And
Like,
Shrinking
once
guy.
you
Yeah.
said that
Shrinking
you
and
need to,
expanding.
you haven't did Arrow as much. Like Adam comes into Arrow a lot as well too. You'll
Really?
get to meet Ray Palmer, which
For
is
2
awesome.
points, can anyone tell me what TV show was the first time you ever saw an appearance of Ant-Man?
what TV show?
A TV show.
Bill Bixby's Incredible Hulk.
No.
That was a good choice.
That was a good call, though.
That's
Was
good,
it the
It's not what you're expecting.
the Amazing Spider-Man or
Nope.
the-
the
Last guess.
the original Captain America movie?
Saturday Night Live.
What?
In that skit?
Yep,
With
that's the first.
Oh, there's Ant-Man.
Yep. And he's actually the black guy that played Ant-Man is in the movie. He's sitting in the car when he
Garrett Morris?
Yes, when he slams into it. That's why he's in that movie.
That's funny.
That's
the
great.
first appearance of Ant-Man.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
that's a
good.
nice random
That's
random
good. Hulk,
factoid.
what did you eat?
That is awesome.
Oh, man.
Everybody look that up on YouTube.
I will,
That's
definitely.
fantastic. All right, my number 3 is going to be Ultron and Brainiac.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like just
Which do you like better?
I gotta give it to Brainiac
I
just
give it to
because
Brainiac all day.
because Ultron is basically
Brainiac 7. Sorry.
Yeah, like or Ultron is basically just based on Earth. Like he was created by either
He's AI
Pym.
gone wrong.
He's either created by Pym or he's created by Tony Stark, depending on if you do the movie or the cartoons. But like Brainiac is like he wants to know all the information in the universe and collects worlds
And then stop
collects,
it so he has it all.
right.
Brainiac is much more layered.
Yeah.
That's
My-
Vidalia.
Yeah, exactly. My number 3 is Thanos and Darkseid.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
With Thanos being my favorite.
I take Darkseid over Thanos, but that's just
Now
me.
I like Darkseid. Don't get me wrong. And
Yeah.
I've the reason that Thanos is my favorite is because when I started reading comics back in '94, the very first series that I ever got and read was the Infinity Gauntlet.
Nice.
Okay, well, that
All
was
right.
So that kind of was right the introduction to Thanos. I hadn't even heard of Darkseid at that point.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, my number 2, taking a page out of yours, is Hawkeye.
And Green-
That's a copy of Green Arrow. I prefer Hawkeye just because lately Green Arrow has so gone down the tubes comic-wise. The overly preachy social justice warrior to an extreme degree. He's always been there, but it's to the point that it's just in your face. It's just I'm kind of done.
Now, is that due to the show, in the CW verse?
No, because he is not the social justice warrior, especially that he is on in the comics on the
Okay.
show. They're
All right.
two completely different characters.
Cool. All right. Well, my number 2, for expediency's sake, is like PB&Jason, Thanos and Darkseid, and I do prefer Thanos. And
Good man.
My number 1 is the universally accepted Deadpool and
Yeah.
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
75% universally accepted at this table.
Let's see. My number 2. This one I just really like the arcs on both of these, but Vision and Red Tornado.
Oh, that is a good one.
Cool.
That is good.
Yeah.
I did
Just
not know
two-
Vision was a copycat.
Two
Oh, yeah.
beings, two beings that they're inanimate, they're robots basically, and they want to learn how to become human.
And the
That's-
Vision is born of Ultron,
Yes,
too.
yeah,
It's another add-on there.
Right. So
Nice.
I just like that appeal of like they're trying to become more human. They're trying to like find their place in society instead of just being an automaton. Like do what they're told thing, which I think is compelling.
Huh.
So do I get to do my number 2 and number 1 since everybody
Oh
is-
no,
Yeah.
I moved
You have a,
my
you
Deadpool
have a
out.
different number 1? Okay.
Oh, you actually...
I just
okay.
moved it out because I figured it.
All right, so
I
my
know.
number 2, we've already mentioned Solomon Grundy, and we've already mentioned Doomsday. But to me, if you were going to take the Banner Hulk combination, they are a copy of Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
Mr.
Hyde.
Hyde.
Okay.
which is very blatant.
Yeah, so, yeah, very much
Good
so.
call on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, my what I'm calling my number 1 that's not Deadpool, Deathstroke, is X-Men, who are originally the Doom Patrol.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
you're
read
right.
that.
And I mean that's to me is kind of a no-brainer. That you talk about an improvement upon the original.
That's a
Right.
good call. I like that
know.
one.
You already gave your
Yeah,
number.
got the number 1.
Deadpool. No. My number 1 is Deathstroke and Deadpool,
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
and
No.
I like Deadpool more.
I'll tell you what.
I
I'm
wanna know
actually
who-
going to sync. I'm going to sync all your number 1s.
Oh, brother.
Okay.
Here we go.
I am. I'm going to pull 2 characters.
Okay.
That are cooler. Okay. So here, watch your number 1s go down with the Titanic.
This ought to be interesting,
All right.
folks. Strap in.
Okay. Darth Vader,
Okay.
who is a copy
Of Hitler.
not an exact copy, but no, not of Hitler. Who is an homage from the greatest of Marvel villains, Doctor Doom, and also from Samurai.
I guess I can.
You can see that none of us got excited about that.
That's because you are all wrong.
Yeah, we must be wrong.
Can I have an honorable mention? I just thought of this,
Absolutely.
too. All right. This is my honorable mention. Daffy Duck and Donald Duck.
Very
That's
good.
That's good. I like that.
Well, you can go all through
two
that.
different yeah.
Mickey and Bugs Bunny.
But Mickey's not a bunny, but
that.
Yeah,
Daffy
but they're
and
the
Donald.
same character.
But they're not.
Yeah.
But they're not really.
Yeah.
It's Daffy and Donald. You can edit that out if you want to. It just hit me. I was like, Daffy
I
and
like
Donald.
that.
Oh
No,
my
I
God,
like that,
that's-
actually.
Yeah, like,
Okay, and that was the main event.
Woohoo! Yes.
And guess what else we have, kids? We got a book report.
Shh, it's time for a book report.
Okay, Jason is, since we're talking copycats, he's doing 2 different book series. Not too in-depth, I'm sure. So why don't you tell us about your 2 book series book report in 3 to 5 minutes max.
I will do that. I'll try to make it quick. All right. So Harry Potter, universally loved, probably read by most, and Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is the first series.
Oh, fantastic series.
By Rick Riordan. Now,
Great book, terrible movie.
exactly, as I was going to say,
Amen-
that a lot
amen
of
to
people,
that.
unfortunately, their first exposure of that is going to be the movie. But I'm going to tell you right now, just ignore the movies and go right to the books because they are fantastic.
Okay.
So they both center around a young male hero, Harry, who is a wizard, Percy, who is a demigod. Both of them don't know this at first. Strange things start to happen, and that's how they learn. They end up in like the strange parental situation with Harry. His parents are dead. He lives with the Dursleys. Percy's a little bit different. He does live with his mom, but his dad is a mystery. He doesn't know who his dad is, and I'm not going to tell you because that's part of what makes
I
this-
know.
No,
I know.
no, no, no,
I know.
Tony.
No
That's part of what makes it
spoilers.
interesting.
Deadpool.
Deathstroke.
So when they kind of become aware of who they are, they go to their places of learning, Hogwarts for Harry, and Camp Half-Blood for Percy,
Half-Blood?
Camp Half-Blood, where the demigods train,
And the Half-Blood Prince.
right?
Ooh.
Yeah, right. Well, here's the thing. Rick Riordan makes no qualms about the fact that he was inspired by J.K. Rowling and gives her all the praise in the world and, says, that his story is inspired by that. But to give him credit where credit's due, Percy goes places where Harry doesn't. They're both worth reading. It's a flattering copy, as we've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
They have the for Harry, the female friend in Hermione, and Ron, his male friend. In Percy, it's Annabeth Chase, who becomes not only his friend, but his girlfriend eventually. And Grover, who is a satyr. Grover Underwood, I believe his name is. And he's a satyr.
What they ruined in the movie. Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. They ruined Annabeth, too. They ruined everything in that movie. There's the
so
mentor,
snobby.
the mentor in Dumbledore, and in Chiron, the centaur. You've got Snape as kind of the foil over there, and you've got Dionysus, who is a little bit of that character in Percy.
Yeah.
And then you have Draco Malfoy, and you have Clarice LaRue in Percy. So, they go on an adventure. It's that whole self-discovery thing, that learning. They both start at one level. Harry goes through the 7 books. How many books?
Harry Potter 7.
7 books, and
I
the
believe
Olympians is 5.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
No, I believe it's 6.
5, right. So anyway, these are both incredible stories, and if you've read Harry Potter, or if you haven't read Harry Potter, of course I would recommend it. One of the best stories ever. Percy Jackson, I know not as many people have read, so I would definitely tell you to do that. Percy is a little bit lighter. It kind of keeps a more consistent tone where Harry's story gets darker and darker and darker as it goes on. Percy's story does have some serious things that happen, but it kind of stays a little more light. Now, if you were going to ask me which one I like better, it would kind of be hard for me to pick, to be honest. Harry came first for me, so I would say that Harry Potter and that whole universe has a little bit more emotional impact.
Yeah.
Whereas Percy, I read Percy, I'd say within the last couple of years. But they're both great. And where J.K. Rowling is going on with the world, with the Cursed Child, play and the Fantastic Beasts movie.
Right.
So Rick Riordan goes on with in the Demigod universe with the Kane Chronicles, which are Egyptian. He does another Percy story with the Heroes of Olympus, and he just started the Norse story with Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer, and he's building up to like a whole universal, all of us are here kind of Infinity War, type of thing with that. So
Interesting.
Nice.
So both of those books, series, go read them. You will not be sorry.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Great book report, bud. Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we get to start wrapping up. So, Kaj, why don't you tell us how to get a hold of you and stuff?
I've got him right now.
I'm first?
You're first.
Oh, nice. Well, as always, I am not on Twitter. If you say hi to me on Twitter, I'll try to say hi to you back. But if you want to catch me on Twitter, I am at IHeartGeek_Kaj. That's KAJ. I'm mainly on the Facebook page. That's where I usually post all of my stuff. And you can find me on iHeartGeek, on the iHeartGeek face page, or just look under Kaj and my name should pop up and you'll see my face.
Very nice.
Yes.
Cool. And I'm Spike. You can find me on more now than before on the Twitter sphere at the Vegas Spike, and I'm always poking around on the iHeartGeek Facebook page. So if you have a question for me that you need answered, I'll be there.
Don't look for me on Twitter, although I am there.
Sort of.
At PB_and_Jason on Twitter.
underscores.
140 characters, underscores.
Characters.
I love it.
Underscores.
That's our Halloween episode.
Characters. But I'm more active on the iHeartGeek Facebook page where I talk about pineapple pizzas and the evil that goes along with them, the wrongness of Die Hard being a Christmas movie, which everyone is still wrong about. It is a movie that takes place at Christmas. But come on the page and talk to me about anything that interests you, and I will be more than happy to have a conversation.
Outstanding. And I'm Dub. And before I give my information, a quick shout out to our friends that we haven't shouted out in a couple weeks. Dinner and a Podcast, Geeks Talk Back, and what's the other one?
Technicolor.
Now in Technicolor.
Technicolor.
Check them out. They're entertaining podcasts.
We love
We
those guys.
love
Yes,
them.
they're fantastic.
Physically.
Keep doing what you guys are
Mentally.
doing.
Yes.
No, we do.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
you two.
thank-
Okay. Yes, Steve. Yeah, I guess you got a new sister wife in PB.
Yeah.
Okay, so get a hold of me on the Twitter at Comic Not Geek. You can get a hold of the show Twitter, which is the main one I use, at iHeartGeek Show.
He did it.
And on the Facebook page, I'm always there. I'm shooting videos or something and that kind of stuff. Subscribe, give us stars, give us comments.
Like.
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah. The more stuff you give us, the better stuff we can give you. And until next time, I'm Dub.
I'm Spike.
I'm Kaj.
I'm PB and Jason.
And as the winner?
Yeah, I get to do this solo. Keep on geeking on.
Oh, that was good. He nailed it.
You've been listening to iHeartGeek. Our Twitter account is at iHeartGeekShow. Hope you enjoyed the show.